Welcome to the Horses and Holy Moments podcast.
Okay, hello Ingela. How are you today?
Hello, Corrie. I am great. How are you?
I am great also, all the way here in America, and you're in Switzerland.
That's
I'm
right.
excited for today. We are going to talk about desensitization. So it's a big subject, but I would love your thoughts on desensitization.
Wow, yes, it's a massive subject. Where do we start? Well, first of all, let me say that I don't normally use desensitization. Now, there are certain cases where we do use it. I use another word, which is called habituation. Why? Because we would like the horse to be used to external stimuli, right? Like cars, trucks, noise, motion, hot air balloons, people, whatever. Basically movement, touch and noise without the horse experiencing fear. But we don't want to desensitize the horse where it becomes unsensitive, because desensitization is talking more about making a horse less sensitive. And what I'm looking for when I build a relationship with the horse is that the horse will be more sensitive. So I would like the horse to be attentive, focused, but unafraid.
I love that. And I can see that when I've been with my horses, because you do think of desensitization as almost shutting the horses down. But, desensitization as shutting the horses down. But when you actually do it in the proper way or a better way, you make them more sensitive, which is amazing to me.
Yes. So if we look at history in the horse world, and sadly this is still practiced in some countries, but there are certain ways we can cause a horse to basically stand still and not react to motion, noise, or touch. Now, a very not nice way to do that is what they used to do, which is tying a horse that is wild or has not been handled at all, tying that horse up to a post inside of a round pen in the middle, and then maybe tying up a hind leg even to around the neck, so the rope goes around the neck, or hobble the horse. So now the horse is in a state where his movement is severely restricted with outward mechanics, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that
Yes.
alone for a prey animal is causing fear. Of course it is. Then there's other things people would do, even like withholding water for a few days and things like that to get the horse so-called desensitized. Now, I know that these days hardly anybody is practicing this anymore, but it does exist and it did exist. And it will cause the horse in the end to stand still. So that's why we go through this very quickly. Okay? It would look something like the horse is in this place where he can only throw himself on the ground, thrash around. He will be on an unbreakable halter and an unbreakable rope. And a person will come with a Hessian bag or a flag or something and just wave it and wave it and wave it and wave it, no matter how much the horse is freaking out and in a panic. And the horse might really, really pull back, really, really trample, be in a state of high panic and throw himself on the ground a few times maybe. Eventually, the horse will stand still. Now, and then if they do that for a little while and then put the saddle on in the same way, that horse can be ridden and will stand still and no longer react to those outward stimuli. But that's, of course, a very horrible way to go about it, right? This would be
Right.
just straightforward force and intimidation. Now, what's actually happening here is we don't give the horse any chance to process anything. right? We mobilize him and we do something to him, and he will go into learned helplessness. No choice. Is a total victim. So if we would relate that to people, that would be a person that would be abused and totally victimized, without the ability to move away or move out. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
And does that lead to shutdown mode?
Yes, total shutdown. So in the horse, we have, just like in the human, the autonomic nervous system. So we have the sympathetic nervous system that is used for freeze, fight, or flight. And we have the parasympathetic nervous system for rest, digest, relax. Okay? Now, in nature, the horse is in balance between those two systems, and it can quickly switch from one to another. When the horse becomes alert because it sees something, the sympathetic nervous system gets activated just a little. So there's a little freeze there while the horse is analyzing. Then the horse will go back into relaxation if there is no threat. If there is a threat, then he will flee or fight. Or flee, and if he can't flee, he'll fight. All right. So this is the principle. Now, this sympathetic nervous system, the freeze state, so the first stage, can be a hard freeze or a soft freeze. A soft freeze would just be the horse raising the head, checking the situation out. But a hard freeze would be the situation we just explained. There is no movement, no nothing. So the horse is not, even though he's not moving, he doesn't have the parasympathetic nervous system activated. It is the sympathetic nervous system. High stress, high panic, but not moving, immobile. Now, when we do this type of practice, or when they used to do this can go okay-ish for a few years, but there are moments when all of a sudden the horse actually comes out of that state. He'll just freak out all of a sudden. It's just like all his emotions, all that he felt in that moment was put under a wall. It's really similar with us, right? So if you're victimized, and this doesn't have to be full-blown abuse, as children, we often feel we're the victim, voiceless, powerless, helpless, hopeless, just because our voice is not heard, or we don't feel cared for, or we don't feel valued. So when that happens to us, we can also feel victimized, even though our parents did the absolute best possible that they could do. It still might give us this feeling of no choice, we have to do this, etc. Right?
Right.
So now, what we would like the horse to be able to do is be able to quickly switch from parasympathetic to sympathetic and back to parasympathetic nervous system. And we need to regulate the nervous system, which in the case we just described, it's impossible. The horse will go into that freeze mode, put everything, what I call under the wall in humans, So if a human was mistreated to the degree where they feel like a victim, or even they were not mistreated but feel like a victim, they might put the emotions that go with that and the memory under a wall and not remember that until potentially at a later point in their lives when it gets triggered. Because we know that outward circumstances can trigger a memory or a pain or a lie in our hearts.
Yes, which I remember that childhood is so important and can completely trigger these things. So, and obviously in the horse too, which is amazing that it goes both ways. Again, there's this parallel that we see.
Yeah. There's just so many parallels, right? It never ends.
It never ends.
Let's go to a little better situation. This would be when they still have the horse tied up. they still use a flag or a Hessian sack and just swing it and swing it and swing it. But this time, instead of just keep swinging it, no matter what the horse does, this time when the horse starts to stand still, they stop swinging. Which to the horse, this feels like a level of, like it has a level of choice over the situation, even though it still doesn't have a choice, right?
Right.
But if the horse finds out, oh, if I stand still, this thing will stop swinging it, that the fear will go away. That gives the horse a little bit of a feeling of he has some say in it.
Right.
But of course, we can do a lot better, right? We can do a lot better
Yes.
than that. So that the next stage would be that, or the next better practice would be that they have the horse on the rope and the horse is able to move his feet.
Yes.
And the person will swing something, and when the horse is afraid about it or nervous, the horse starts to run around, moving his feet, which that is more comfortable for a prey animal, of course.
Yes.
So, yeah, as he's moving his feet, however, he's still afraid of whatever is swinging. He's still running away from it.
Yes.
So if
Yes.
then eventually the horse comes to a stop and looks at it, the person stops, then again the horse feels like he has a little bit of control of the situation, a little bit of say in the matter, but still he was afraid.
Right.
And out of that practice, other ways then developed, right? So for example, not allowing the horse to run around. So for example, the horse stands in front of us on a rope and a line, and we swing something, the horse gets nervous, starts moving. So then we put a rhythm in the rope to block the horse from running around, so he knows that's not the right choice. It feels uncomfortable, so he has two uncomfortable things. He has the bag and he has the rope. So he'll come to stop sooner, and therefore we don't leave him in the wrong place for long. Okay? So this is a little bit like your normal, average, dominant, natural horsemanship systems.
Yes. Making the wrong thing difficult and the right thing easier is kind of a saying that I've heard.
Yes. Okay. So today I'd like to talk a little bit about how we can do better than that.
Great.
Okay. So I believe it's important to work with the autonomic nervous system in the horse and the human. So if we learn to watch out for that, it's what I call stress signals. It's telling us little signals that now we know, the horse is no longer with the parasympathetic nervous system activated. He's now putting on a little bit of that freeze. Okay? This is before the fleeing and running around in a circle, and it's before the fighting, right? So if this little bit of a freeze starts to happen, there is something we can do to help the horse switch back to relax mode. Okay, so let's say we're having a horse on the line, and we are waving a flag or approaching the horse's body with that flag. Now, the moment the horse shows us a stress signal, so he goes from completely relaxed, one hind leg resting, his head is low, the ears are out to the side, the eyes are half closed, he's breathing normal, right? He goes from that to a place of alert, to the bag or the flag. That would be the moment of stopping.
Got it.
Okay, so now we stop. So we saw that he became alert, and we stop. So we don't advance anymore. We also don't retreat. We can just stay there and stop, because it just brings his attention to the new thing.
Got it. Got it.
Once he's done that, he's going to analyze dangerous or not. If not, he's going back into a more relaxed state.
Okay, that's great.
Okay.
So we don't go past what he's capable of handling, basically,
Right.
at that moment.
Right. Well, because we want him not to start turning in the red and go crazy.
Right.
We want him to
Right.
just go, oh, what is this? Come out of his relaxed stage, pay attention to the new object, see it, analyze it, and go back into relaxation.
Got it.
That's ideal.
Got it.
So then we would take it away. The moment the horse is relaxing, we'll take the flag away.
That
And then,
makes sense.
Yeah, then we'll go again. So the horse is standing in a relaxed mode. We approach with the plastic bag, the flag, or whatever we have. The moment the horse becomes alert and pays attention to it, we stop. He looks at it, he goes, it's nothing. He relaxes, we take it away. That's a much, much, much faster way to help the horse accept a new object. It's the same for touch, noise, rhythm, also for outward objects. It's a much faster way to help the horse truly become relaxed with something new that he's presented with that he might be fearful of.
Got it. Got it. And some of the so the signs to be able to tell when the horse gets a little bit nervous. I know you've said the whites of the eyes. I guess
Right.
the head coming up. But would people be able to know when to make that stop, like not go forward with anymore?
Okay, so we can see different things. A very obvious one is if the head comes up.
Okay.
So once the head comes up, we most likely have already stepped over the line. So then we need to really, really stop right away. Just freeze where we are, right?
Got it.
Usually the horse will open his eyelid more first.
Okay.
It might
That's
even
so subtle.
Yeah, it might even turn the eye away. So you see the white of the eye, then the head comes up, and then these are really the signs we should really, really try to see and stop for. Because what can, of course, happen is we miss them, right? In the beginning, when we
Right.
practice, we miss those signals. So the horse approaches the plastic bag, the horse turns the eyeball away, lifts the head up, and now the horse starts to turn the whole head and neck away. When we see that, before the horse moves the feet, now we don't only need to stop, we need to back up and say, I'm so sorry I stepped over that boundary where you got scared. Okay?
Okay.
If the horse then relaxes, we just do it again. This time watching and stopping before he turns his head away. Now, if we were really not paying attention and we happen to have approached the horse and now he's not only gone to the state of lifting his head up, he's turned his head away and he moved off with his front feet just a step or two. Same there, I immediately back up. I say, I'm so sorry. And I make a fresh start. But if the horse has actually walked off and gone onto a circle and I'm still there with my flag following him, well, now I probably need to keep in that position and help him come to a stop. Because if I now take the flag away, he might then start to think I asked him to go on the circle, and he becomes a stick watcher. So he's watching the outward signals, the flag, the stick. I don't want that. I would like the horse to be tuned into my thought and energy and follow my thought and energy, max a body cue, not watch the stick and move off when the stick is moving. But if it has happened and I'm that late with stopping or backing up, well, I now need to keep the flag there because otherwise I'm actually teaching him that the flag means go.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, that
Because
makes
when
sense.
if he leaves and then I take the flag away, then he's going to be very sure. There was not even any thought and energy. So this signal with the flag means walk or trot on the circle. And I want to avoid that.
Got it. Got it. I love that. I love how they will pick up on the differences. The more you're doing the stress signals and then using your thought and energy, it is amazing how they pick up on the differences
Oh,
of the
absolutely.
two and not
Absolutely.
watch the stick is what I'm trying to say,
Yeah.
you know? So I just love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, and with the stress signals, it's very, very cool to learn about them because it really, really changes our relationship with the horses. They are social creatures. They like social interaction. Now, imagine there is a horse, and in his mind, he's showing all the signals that would be recognized by other horses. But now he's with a human, and that human just walks on by all those signals, not noticing anything. The horse always knows what we actually know, and he knows what we don't know. Meaning, if you choose to move your feet when the horse pushes into your space, he knows that you knew and you gave him the space. Leads do that sometimes, right?
Right.
If you don't know, you're not aware of moving your feet, he knows you were not aware and you gave up space and he will see you as passive. It's actually the same with the stress signals. He will know that you don't know anything if you just walk over all the boundaries. So what you would do is you approach the horse, and the moment he shows a stress signal, we would clearly communicate to the horse that we noticed that stress signal, we saw it. And we do that by either pausing or by backing up. So in a nutshell, probably the first 3-4 times, if I'm approaching a horse, it could be at liberty or on a rope, it doesn't matter, with a flag, the moment I see a stress signal, the eye turn away, the head lifting up, maybe the lips close, maybe holds his breath. There's many, right? Maybe the nostrils open, maybe the eyelid stays wide open, maybe the ears prick up, right?
Right.
Anything like that, immediately I back up. So I signal to the horse, I saw it. This increases the confidence in the horse that we're aware, not only of ourselves and our body, but also of him and his body and what goes on between us. So once we've done that, I would advance again. The moment the horse is showing a stress signal, I'm now not backing up. I'll just pause. When he relaxes, I advance.
Right.
Because we also don't want to teach the horse that showing a little signal means we are leaving. We need to actually habituate him to the stimuli of the flag. So we want to be making progress. But we want to do it by keeping the horse as relaxed as possible. Which now brings me to the next thing. So, when we do this, it's like really fun. It's really fun to watch this. And it's really nice to see how the horse goes, oh, wow, you saw that. Oh, great. And how quickly he relaxes and how fast you can, even to a new horse that's never seen a flag and maybe can't even be led yet or anything, you can then pretty soon go right there and they're accepting whatever you're presenting to them because they had that time to analyze that it wasn't dangerous. Now,
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. So what does that mean then? It means that if we're willing to watch for these stress signals, we can make progress much, much, much faster than when we run over those boundaries. And at the same time, the horse doesn't get desensitized. It gets habituated. It starts to feel okay with it. This is the difference, because what would I actually like? I don't want my horse desensitized that he's totally not aware of an object approaching him. This might not be good, right?
Right.
I would like, when I approach with an object, my horse to be attentive to me, connected to me. So I'd like my horse attentive and connected. Now I'm bringing something in, like a flag on the end of the stick. I'd like him to look at it and then just go, oh yeah, and re-give his focus and attention to me. Then, if we have this connection and attentiveness, but the connection to me, he's not thinking of running away. He's thinking of finding his safety, his relaxation, his answer to all his questions with me. So ideally, even a young horse, I go up to it and the horse would maybe move off for a few steps while he stays bent toward me, while he's looking at me. He'll also look at the flag and go, oh, what is that? And then come to a rest in front of me again. So attention, attentiveness, and connection to me are very important. And if we have that, I believe we're able to habituate horses to external stimuli very fast.
I love that. And then they'll be more relaxed and more connected. And it's all positives where they don't go into the fight or flight or freeze stage, which is incredible.
Great. And the thing is, it could be something that's dangerous. But what I would like is my horse to stay connected to me and ask me, is this not time to run from this? Or am I okay here with you? Okay.
Yes.
Or are you asking me to go?
Yes,
or
that's
are
great.
you blocking me from coming into your space? So I want the horse to be able to differentiate between when I'm asking him something, when am I making a boundary about my personal space, and when I'm habituating him to something,
Yes.
So if I'm looking at this here, in our lives, we very often get scared about something. There's so much unknown, right?
Right.
There's life can go great and all of a sudden a little thing pops up, an unexpected bill, a child sick, an event that we didn't think is up and coming. So there is all of these things that happen suddenly to us that can cause us fear of the future, or fear of are we going to measure up, or fear of are we even able to do it, and it can threaten the stability of our future or our relationships, and we don't like that feeling. Right? So we can run to our brain and analyze how to get rid of this fear, or we can run straight to Jesus. Okay?
Better choice.
Better choice. So we could run to Jesus and give him our attention. So I like to call that stay connected, I like to stay connected to Jesus. And my aim is that I would be every waking moment aware of his presence. I have never managed that yet, but that's what I would like. So I would love to have that level of connection. I believe we can have that. I believe he made us, spirit, soul, and body. And even though we can't feel our spirit with it, we are actually one with him if you're born again. He comes and lives in us, the Holy Spirit, and we always have this ever-present help in time of need. So we have him inside of us. We're like the house of God. We carry him everywhere we go, into deep, dark places, everywhere. And we always have the ability to commune with him, communicate, feel him, sense him, be aware of him. But we might not because we're distracted. Okay.
Right.
And what distracts us more than fears or shame or offense? Those three things have a tendency to highly distract us from our ability to sense his presence. Because in his presence is fullness of joy. And he is peace. He is joy. And we have been, bought with the blood of Jesus. We're blood bought. And it's that gives us the access to the presence of God. It's not if we're good or bad. It's not if our behavior is good or bad. It is not if we have worshipped or read our Bibles or done good and given to the poor or not committed any sins. It's not any of these things. It's not how much, if we're brilliant or we're the most awful person on the entire planet. It's the blood that gives each one of us access, because we all fall short of the glory of God. We are not him. We are human beings created in his image and very, very beloved by him. But the access into his presence comes by the blood and by the blood alone. So as we get access 24/7, all the time because of the blood of Jesus. It's us that leave. We get distracted. We're the ones who start to go, oh, there's something scary. What am I going to do? And we instantly have a tendency to be in fear and look at it and wonder what it is. This is very similar from a horse that was connected to us, looking at us. Now it sees a flag or a hot air balloon or a noise. And instantly the horse's full attention is on the scary thing and it forgets about us. And because of that, the horse actually gets lost. And now he is with a fully activated sympathetic nervous system instead of being able to stay calm and relaxed, look to us. And if we say it's okay, it's okay.
Wow, that's so awesome. I just love that. And I love that it's exactly like us with Jesus. And that every moment we can just run into his arms and that he's always open for us. But we are so distracted, especially in this world now. Just so distracted. And just like the horse, we go into fear mode and worry and anxiety and all these things. But we can always go to our Father in heaven and learn and just experience him more as we put our eyes on him and spend time with him. Like we've said in other podcasts together.
Yes, absolutely. And one of the other things is not just the horse is dealing with this sympathetic or parasympathetic nervous system being activated. We do too. So, of course, there is a little learning curve regarding when we see something that's scary, to get our eyes off that onto Jesus is not always that easy because our body has a reaction. Okay? The moment the thoughts are in our head, then there is going to be hormones poured out that get us into a heightened state of anxiety. And from that state, we get like a tunnel vision on the scary thing, And that's great for if there is an actual tiger in the room and you need to flee or the house is on fire. But this is really not so great if it's just perceived or it's something that might not be real or we don't even know the outcome of it. So us learning to regulate our own automatic nervous system would be also very important. Meaning, that's why, when we refocus on the Lord, to take a deep breath and get really grounded, really centered right here, maybe become aware of our feet on the ground, become aware how the breath travels around our body, or we focus on how blue the sky is, or the number of the house we're standing in front of, to bring us back into the here and now. Because fear is future. Right? We're afraid of all the things that are going to happen. They haven't happened yet. We're still standing right there. So these are little techniques that help us get grounded. But the other thing is that we might need to learn to be okay to feel the negative emotion in our body for a little while so it doesn't get stuck and we're able to move it out of our body. But that is an entire podcast in itself. Okay, and that then would have to do with desensitization. And there is actually a case, Corrie, where we do that with the horse. I call that the washing machine. So maybe we can talk about that next time.
That would be so great. I love this conversation. Thank you so much, Ingela. There's so much more I could talk to you about, but we will do the washing machine next time. Thank you, Ingela. It was awesome.
You're very welcome. Sounds great, and have a great day.
You too.
Thank you for listening to the Horses and Holy Moments podcast. Stay tuned for the next episode.